With Five Nights at Freddy's second VR game, Help Wanted 2, officially out, it's time to look at the morality spectrum of its animatronics, new and old. Welcome to One Up Binge. This is Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2, Good to Evil. As usual, we'll be starting with the most noble character and working our way down to the most evil. These characters are the good, and earning our gold medal of good is everyone's favorite little bear, Helpy. Helpy is all over this game, as he was in Pizzeria Simulator before this. Much like that game, he's a helpful force, and for good reason. He's shown to help out the player in a multitude of ways, most notably in mini-games like First Aid Pig Patch, where he takes the place of the patient you're operating on. He shows no malicious intent, even when he starts screaming and alerting Pig Patch. In fact, he's more often shown gleefully helping the people around him, which is what earns him our top spot. Though Helpy also earns our Darwin medal because, while he isn't as bad at other games, he is constantly hurting himself and doing really dumb stuff all throughout the game. Earning the silver medal of good is the helpful hippo herself, Mystic Hippo. Mystic Hippo is a mysterious fortune-telling machine in the hub world that doesn't seemingly do much. However, she will occasionally wake up and give the players cryptic riddles that explain certain things behind the scenes. Most of the time this stuff isn't very obvious, nor is it the best for you. However, she does essentially wake you up from the augmented reality mask that you're wearing, which unlocks the hard mode levels. This of course is a big help in the grand scheme of things, and she never gets snarky with you, so we'll give her the silver medal of good. Next up, taking the bronze medal of good is the Carney. The Carney, much like Helpy, isn't actually a threat and is rather calm throughout. He acts almost exclusively as a host to the Phaser Blast missions, and while he does sometimes come off as rude, he never actually attacks the player to our knowledge. Falling just outside of our top 3 is the Head Chef Bot. Head Chef Bot is a weird one because they never actually attack you and are much rather an overarching annoyance rather than a full-on threat. They're the ones who make you follow orders during the food service missions, and they obviously don't care about your happiness. They do make it clear that if you fail, you'll be severely reprimanded, and they constantly berate you.
Get the orders right or you will be severely reprimanded.
But because they never attack, we can't pull them down any further. The first actual threat to be aware of is Glamrock Freddy. Unlike the previous animatronics, he's the first one that could actually harm you. However, he makes it pretty clear that he doesn't want to. In fact, he's more than happy to lead you through the repairs as if nothing out of the ordinary is happening. He does warn you that he's not himself thanks to temperature fluctuations, but that's not necessarily his fault.
I am not quite myself at the moment.
Sure, Glamrock Freddy could kill you, but considering how much he doesn't want to, he deserves a spot in our good section. In a very similar vein is the Daycare Attendant, better known as Sun and or Moon. They have a few different appearances, most notably in Arts and Crafts and Carousel. In Arts and Crafts, Sun makes it very clear that he's a good guy and he's more than willing to help you and treats you like a child of his own. He does get angry when you run out of time, and he does go ahead and shred your completed art, but I suppose that's a quirk of his programming. What ranks him below Glamrock Freddy, however, is the fact that in Carousel, Moon is actively hunting you and trying to kill you. Daycare Attendant earns our Wrath medal, and while this may surprise some, it makes sense given how angry he gets when you screw up, even in the slightest, and how murderous he gets during the Moon segments. Much like his sunny friend, DJ Music Man is sort of a big softie. He is giving you private lessons in his booth and is seemingly big and friendly. However, it's said by Hand Unit that he gets quite angry when you mess up. This is confirmed to be a bug in his behavior protocol, and as such, we can't dock him too many points. Rounding out our good section, we have Roxanne Wolf. Roxanne is the host of Salon Glamrock Makeover and Salon Roxy Repair. She is her regular self in this game, unlike the infected controller one from Security Breach. She shows all of her usual traits, such as being very full of herself and needing your attention at all times. She gets very angry when someone isn't paying attention to her, and as such will attack. However, she still doesn't attack you just to attack you. Instead, it's part of her programming, essentially. In Roxy Repair, she is a bit more antagonistic, but this could be seen as a part of her programming, and how the ruined version of her has caused a lot of self-consciousness. It's very obvious that Roxy is going to earn our Pride medal today, due to just how incessantly obsessed with herself she is, and how much pride she takes in her appearance.
Pay attention. You're mean.
She's also going to earn the Envy medal because she's, well, envious of anyone else that can be seen as more famous or prettier, and will get angry if you don't look at her for a few moments. With the good section wrapped up, we now move into more neutral territory. These characters fall in the gray area. First off, we have Pigpatch. This Pig animatronic is the main antagonist of First Aid Pigpatch, where he's within the vents near your location. He'll start crawling towards you, and when he hears the screams of Helpy, seeking to cease the person causing Helpy pain. Unlike the previous threats on our list, he is the first animatronic who seeks to actually eliminate you, because the others only attack because of extenuating circumstances. That said, we can't rank him too low, because his programming is telling him that you're the one causing pain, not the one fixing it. We can't dock him too many points if he only wants to help harm children. Moving on, Lefty is essentially the same way, as they'll rush to the aid of Helpy as soon as he screams. They're also liable to kill you much quicker than Pigpatch, and because Helpy screams more often, Lefty is more than willing to come at you. That said, they also start rushing down the vents at the sound of advertisements upon your television, which of course shows that they're more attracted to sound than a child being hurt. Of course, Lefty actually has a reason to believe you're hurting the child because of some of your tasks, such as hitting them with a hammer or sticking a pen in their throat. Next on the list is Scrap Baby. Like Lefty and Pigpatch, she comes running down the vents as soon as she hears any noise. However, if we were to broaden the scope, we know she's not doing this because she cares about Lefty and is more just interested in harming you. However, since we can't prove that, and this is the only major minigame of hers, we won't rank her any lower. The first selfish bot to land on our list is Glamrock Chica. She's not all that much of a threat. Instead, she's just seen hanging around during the second and third food service minigames. She needs to be constantly watched because of how intrigued by the pizza she is, and she really just wants the food.
What you making over there?
She doesn't seem inclined to attack, rather she pushes the staff bots out of the way to steal it. In hard mode, she's just as picky and will kill you if she doesn't get the right meal. But this might be because of her programming being on the fritz due to her ruined state. She also appears in Fizzy Faz Night 4, where you need to trash ingredients to force her back into her hole, but this comes back to her gluttonous side. It makes sense that she earns our gluttony medal for obvious reasons. She is constantly eating or obsessed with food, and is almost exclusively used in food-related minigames. From the chicken to the dancer, up next are Ballora and the Minorinas. Mostly appearing during Ballora Gallery, they start dancing around you and will kill you if you get too close to them during their dance. The Minorinas mostly act to block your path so you can't stay too still during Ballora's dance. Much unlike a lot of the previous animatronics, Ballora seems to be out to get you just because. And while there were some explanations in the previous game, in this case, she just seems to do it because you're near her. Unlike the dancer, the plushies only kill you if you fail. In fact, they don't even kill you that often. Bonbon and Bonnet don't seem capable of killing you. They will just disappear back into the machine and leave you alone, even if you fail to hit them or hit Helpy. Plush Baby is a bit more difficult because she requires multiple smacks to her noggin to leave, and if you don't hit her in time, she can and will harm you. Now, whether Plush Baby is just doing it for fun or because you've encroached on her territory is unknown. However, the fact that they're more willing to kill you for failing to bonk them goes to show why they earn their rank here. But now let's get to the worst of the worst. These characters are gunning for you no matter what. These are the bad and the evil. Unlike the plushies, our next character is trying to kill you, and that's Funtime Freddy. Funtime Freddy hunts you down during the breaker room minigames and seems to want to kill you just because you're there. This shows a big step up in antagonistic threats because he is forcibly hunting you down from the wires within the breaker room. Unlike everyone else, this doesn't seem to be a programming glitch or a misguided idea of fun. Funtime Freddy is actively trying to kill you. He doubles these efforts in the office minigames where he's trying to kill you for fun again, and this makes him quite the threat. Similarly, the rest of the Funtime gang are just as bad. Funtime Foxy and Chica both appear during the office minigame called Funtime Gang. Much like Freddy before them, they're very clearly hunting you down just to kill you for seemingly no reason. Now, Chica does seem less keen on killing than Foxy, and Foxy seemingly just wants attention. However, this duo have no qualms killing and make it clear with their actions that no matter what you try and do, they'll still try to get you, and it's not a quirk in their programming. Happily landing in our next spot is Jacko Moon. Jacko Moon is a weird one because he only appears in a few spots, but those spots make it clear what kind of antagonist he is. In Cinder Carousel, he is chasing the player down with little remorse, and unlike his non-Halloween variant, doesn't seem to have a good side. He doesn't seem to care at all that you're just fixing the machine, and would rather harm you than help. In Log Ride, he only appears in the secret paths, but is once again hunting you down with little remorse. In fact, one of those foes is our Bronze Medal of Evil winner, Ennard, who appears in the Sister Location Office minigames. Much like his previous appearances, he's there specifically to kill you, and unlike those appearances, he doesn't seem to have a concrete reason for doing so. In fact, he's far more liable to hunt you down for fun than he would be in the previous games. Similarly, our Silver Medal of Evil goes to Circus Baby. Much like Ennard before her, Circus Baby is attacking you for next to no reason. Unlike most other animatronics, there's no tangible reason as to why she's attacking you. No programming errors, no extrapolated reasons, nothing. She's attacking you because she wants to kill you. And not only that, she is toying with you. It's very obvious she's messing with you by the fact that she's making you play all kinds of games just to survive the night, which really shows just how messed up she is. But rounding out our list and earning the Gold Medal of Evil is Glitch Trap. Glitch Trap is the main antagonist of the game, and that puts him at the bottom of our list because he's behind everything within the game. He controls everything going on, including the mini games you can play, and even messing with some of your machines. However, what really puts Glitch Trap down at the very bottom is the normal ending of the game. While he never appears fully, you can clearly see his hand and arm when you're killed by the staff bots and turned into Ruin's mask bot. Every bad thing that happens in this game is under his control and goes back to him, because William Afton will forever be the worst guy in the room no matter what.